Good morning. It's lovely to connect with you today. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. That's the 3rd through to the 6th of October 2024. So welcome. I trust this video finds you well. And if you're not feeling so good today, I do trust that you receive something helpful and supportive for you. Maybe a bit of comfort or reassurance, a bit of perspective, or just a little love if that's what you need. So thanks for being here. I want to start by sending out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons for October. I want to also welcome my Pillar of Light members and those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you for your support. And I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Thursday, the 3rd of October, and the time is 8:24 a.m. Welcome. Emily's here and Karen's here. You're both ready to go, looks like. I'm ready to go as well. So welcome to you. And what I'll be doing if you're new to watching is I'll be using my Oracle cards. I've got a bit of an advantage using these cards because I illustrated them and created them. And I've joined or made 2 decks the same size so they can fit in together like this. They tend to like bunching up with their own, it seems. But I've got the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with the Ladybug and the Speed of Light Oracle cards, and these decks have been combined to make a 110 card deck to play with. So I'll be using this deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need for these days that we're looking at, and then I'm going to pull a theme card at the end. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is not personal guidance. This is general guidance. So I trust that you've been led here for a reason. What that reason is up to you to determine. So I trust that I'm here at the right time, at the right place, and I share what needs to be shared, and based on my trust in my cards and my intuition. And I trust that if you're led here, if you are watching this, then you have been led here for a reason. And I trust that something shared will stir something in you that hopefully awakens something nice and maybe focused or inspiring, or supports you in some way. So it's up to you to determine what that is, what the benefit of this is for you. If you keep coming back, then I trust that you already have a trust in me and a trust in the cards, and I don't take that lightly. So it's quite the honour that you feel that, if that's what you feel. So thank you very much. I think, whether we trust someone or not, I often think about this, and I think a few conditions that for me determine whether I can trust someone is, one, if I deem them to be honest, and honest is in, well, obviously honest with what they're saying, but also honest with what they say and what they do. You know, some people say a lot, but they don't do a lot, or they don't back up their words with action. So I find it hard to trust someone's words if they're going to promise this and promise that, or declare this or declare that, and then they don't follow through. It's hard for me to trust someone's words. They might be an honest person, but they're not following through with action, which I feel is crucial in my determination of whether I can trust someone or not. So I try my best to say what I do and follow up with what I say with action. So I find that's really valuable. I think maybe another reason, if you do have a trust in me, that I've been thinking about just how I put my trust in other people, is to show up regularly. I'm consistently here and have been consistently here for many, many years. I've been on, Temple of Balance has been on Facebook since 2009, and we started in 2005. So I regularly show up. I don't disappear for months and then come back with all sorts of excuses as to why I haven't been here. I try and be here loyally and committed and dedicated to my work and what I do. This is a way of life for me. It's not just something I'm doing in a video. This is how I live my life. I work with my cards for myself regularly. I have them by my side every day, this deck and my healing energy cards. So I believe in what I'm sharing, and I share from experience. I don't share from a textbook or what someone else has told me. So I figured it out, and I'm happy to share, and hopefully it might help you in some way. So hopefully there's a trust that you feel in me. If you're new to watching, then there's probably no trust, because that builds over time. So see how you go. Let's see what happens. And I do trust that you've been led here for a reason, for some reason. So I'm going to start by looking for the best card that the majority of us need for Thursday, the 3rd of October. If it's not quite Thursday, I have done a video for Wednesday, so have a look on the wall if you missed that, or on my YouTube channel. So the best card for Thursday, the 3rd of October, for the majority of us is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card, which are popular in the last couple of videos. We're starting with a dragon. So in the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, we have 5 dragons. The dragons are the most powerful cards in the deck. And we have the water dragon. We had a theme air dragon for our last video too. So the dragons are strong. This shows this is a very powerful time, an intensely powerful time, which is sometimes good and sometimes not so good until we sort of come to terms with the intensity. But this is card 24, and it says diving into new depths. This is the water dragon, so it's aligned with the water element. So when I think of the water element, I think of flow, I think of emotions, because emotions want to be in motion. So they're moving, they're flowing, they're like water. I think of creativity. I think of sexual energy or sexuality as well, as part of that energy that aligns us really with the sacral chakra, which is just below our navel. So that's our emotional center. We could probably think of water as more of a feminine or female yin, not feminist, but sort of the true sort of feminine energy, the yin energy as water as well. It's very fluent, a bit like that feminine energy. So what does this mean for Thursday? It means that we're potentially dropping deeper into our inner oceanic realm, is what I like to call it. And actually there are a lot of things that really inspire me, but I think almost topping all of it is depth. And I have a personal desire, let's say, or a craving or an intention that runs through almost every aspect, if not every aspect of my life, and that is depth. I want to understand things deeper. So the water dragon is calling us down into new depths of our being, which also can include new depths in our life. So relationships, for example, depending on, well, it doesn't matter what sort of relationship it is, from our closest to our more distant ones, but the distant ones may be less valuable to us. But relationships also call us deeper into ourselves, deeper into that intimacy, which could be sexual, but it might be conversation. There's an intimacy in conversation. There's an intimacy in opening up and sharing things that we don't share with other people, that might be, a pure friendship that is so deeply intimate just with the words and the conversations that are shared. So there is this depth that's calling, and it's calling to, it feels like a deep vein, like a vein of gold in the earth. And I feel like it's a valuable resource or treasure for us to potentially tap into. So how does this translate to our everyday life, especially for Thursday? There might be some things that are going on, or something that's going on that seems quite on the surface, and we're being encouraged to look at this situation deeper, look underneath this situation, look at the bigger picture, if you like, or a deeper meaning. I feel like when I'm called to the depths, I'm called to further understand things. I want to understand how things work. I want to understand how things fit. I want to know whatever this is, this relationship, this aspect of me, this aspect of my life. I want to know it at more intimate, deep levels. What makes it tick? What is the purpose in this? Why do I feel so connected to it? So asking ourselves deep questions can also pull us deeper under the surface of what's going on. So if on the surface it seems very stressful because we might have this pulling at us here and this pulling at us there, and there's just a lot going on at the moment, and then more things are added to it, it can be very stressful on the surface. But if we can let this sort of stress settle and then drop underneath and look at the deeper wisdom in this, and that may be quite valuable for us. So what is the deeper wisdom? What is the deeper calling? What is the deeper meaning in what you've got playing out in your life at this time, especially on Thursday? Are you being called deeper into that state of emotion? And, you know, that can be a bit of a controversial word in some ways. And maybe instead of emotion, we could say, are you being called deeper into your heart? Deeper in your heart to understand how you feel about things, or how you feel about yourself, how you feel about where you are in your life, and asking yourself some deep questions. You can do this too in your journal if that's something that you're inclined to do. This kind of overflows very well from the other video I did, the last one, where I talked a lot about that space of feeling and feeling through things as well. So that's the water dragon, a great start to these next 4 days. So let's now see which card is best for Friday the 4th of October. So the best card for Friday for the majority of us is, let's go with this card. We've got another Animal Kingdom, just when they hardly come up and how they come up all the time. And we've got the Macaw. The Macaw is card 12, and it says bold and daring communication. So we might find that we need to speak up. We may need to clear the air and communicate how we feel about something. Communicate our wisdom, communicate our truth, communicate our concerns. But there is this vocalization of energy on Friday. So we may find that we need to speak up and be vocal. What are we being vocal about? It will be personal for us. It might be good with the water dragon coming first before this. It may be good for us to determine how we really feel, or what we really think, if you prefer, about the situation before we speak up and say what needs to be said. We don't want to be speaking out or confronting something or confronting another person from a highly emotional, irrational, stressed out space on the surface. We may find it helpful with the advice from the water dragon to drop deeper first and ask ourselves some deeper questions and get to know the underlying energy here. Why are we concerned? Or what is this? Where is this coming from? When have we felt this way before? What's the deep? How can we kind of pull this apart at deeper levels so that we're clearer in ourselves before we go out and say what needs to be said? So if we have that luxury of time, then it may be something helpful for us to do as we work our way towards being bold and daring with our communication. Some of us may need to speak up. Some of us may need to step out and speak up. Some of us may even be taking our communication to bigger levels. Maybe we're stepping out onto a stage, or we're stepping into a role as a leader or a teacher, and we have communications that we're trying to strengthen. So that may be calling to some of us too. There is a creative, bold energy to this card, but especially around communication. So see how you go with that for Friday. So I'm now looking for the best card for Saturday, the 5th of October. Welcome everyone. Susie's here. And Tabitha, welcome. Manahia, welcome. Chelsea. And Manahia says, I love dragon energy and ancient sacred strength. Yes, I love that. Welcome, Ornella. Thank you for joining us today. So the best card for Saturday, the 5th of October is, we'll go with this. Oh, we're breaking the trend. We've got a Speed of Light Oracle card. We have our friend, which came up, I think, not last video, but the 2 videos before, is projection. Card 15. It says vision, focus, concentration, and chaos. Let's look at vision first. This is our vision for our future. This is our vision to be able to look ahead and look past whatever we've got going on. So when we're stressed out and we are kind of scraping things on the surface, which we go through, but when we're doing that, it's very hard to see ahead very clearly. We may jump to all sorts of conclusions without even having the facts yet, or dealing with the situation sensibly or with common sense or rationally. So it can be hard to have it can be difficult to have a clear and accurate vision of our future if we're majorly stressed out. So I'm just going back to the energy before as I talked about the dragon. So if we can drop below the stress, those surface levels, and drop deeper into this particular situation, ask ourselves questions or whatever it is we need to do. If we can communicate, even if it's just communicating with ourselves more clearly about what we want, who we are, and our involvement or relationship or connection to the particular situations we're dealing with, then that may help prepare the way for us to have a clearer vision for our future. So when we're stressed out, we're worried about everything that's connected with that. And also our mind goes on wild tangents and makes things up and thinks of worst case scenarios. So then we can, the stress and the panic can become worse because we're sort of feeding it with that negativity. I like to remind myself, I don't want to worry. I don't like to worry anyway, but I don't want to worry. I don't want to really think about this situation too much until I have the facts. So if the facts aren't presented yet, if the facts aren't ready yet, if I have to wait for the facts to be presented, then I'm going to try and step back out of our worrying state and just try and focus on some other things while I wait for the fact. I need to wait for the facts, so the facts will give me the information I need to be able to take the next step. And sometimes we have to wait on it. Sometimes we've got to wait for results, or we've got to wait to see if our application is successful or not. We've got to wait to see what the problem with our vehicle is, if it's playing up, for example. So it's difficult when we're stressed out to have a clear vision of our future. So stepping back, dropping in, being clear about our communications with ourselves will help clear the fog, like I talked about in the last video, that helps us see ahead, helps us see into the future. This card is very much about focusing, concentrating, and avoiding distractions. Avoiding distractions that are pulling us out from where we need to be giving our attention to. So it feels like Saturday's a great day to be attentive, to be focused, and to concentrate on what needs to be done. We might find it helpful to work out our priorities, especially if we've got a lot of things to do. What is the most important thing to do today, or the most important thing to do now, and focusing on that vision. So avoiding distractions can be another way of looking at that. That's for Saturday. Now I'm looking for the best card for Sunday, the 6th of October. So the best card for Sunday is... Okay, let's go with this card. It's another Speed of Light Oracle card. And we have Creation, card 29. This says Source, Uncoil, Light and Authentic. So this is about being real and honest and true to ourselves, of course. And then that ripples out into our connections with others and our life itself. There is this sense with this card about opening up. So if we've been tightly coiled up, if we've been feeling tense and stressed, we could add that word again, then this card is about softening that tension and softening that coil, that tightly coiled up energy, and opening up. So it feels like Sunday, by the time we get to Sunday, hopefully we've journeyed through these sorts of things that I've guided with, and other things that you feel that you need to do, and the things that are appropriate and the things that aren't for your situation. And then by the time we get to Sunday, hopefully we're feeling less tight and tense and stressed, and more open and softer and I don't know if gentle is quite the right word, but there is an openness, a mushiness, a softness that wants to come in, that we're being encouraged to open up to. It does feel very mental, so it might be this breakdown of tension and negativity that we may be feeling in our mind in regards to our thoughts, and opening and softening those thoughts and being open to being optimistic and hopeful, for example, instead of pessimistic and thinking and dreaming up the worst case scenarios. It's not very helpful. And often the worst case scenarios don't happen anyway. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen the way our negative mind concocts it to be. So instead of adding to our stress, which our lower mind will want to do, we're being encouraged to really look at our thoughts as we progress over these next few days and make sure that we are, well, again, we're coming back to the water dragon, dropping below the tension of the surface tension, and dropping deeper, asking ourselves deeper questions. Even just taking 5 minutes and focusing on our breath, where we try and push those thoughts out and bring our attention back to our body and back to our heart. We may find things like that really valuable and helpful. So this is a really great card to have to tie up these 4 days, is this softening and this opening up. So it shows actually that potential progress is being made if we are willing to drop the stress and the tension, because it's going to be up to us. We could put our foot down and create a stressful forehead and just keep the tension going because of whatever reason. Maybe we're getting attention for it. Maybe that's all we know. Maybe we've got into the bad habit of keeping ourselves tense and stressed out. Well, what if there's a better way? Can you relax your grip from the tension and soften your hands, soften your forehead, soften yourself, and be open to maybe another option or a better solution or a better approach to this particular situation? Maybe things aren't as bad as what they seem. So that's our guidance for the next 4 days. I am going to pull a theme card in just a minute. But before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to learn more about my cards that I created and have used today, I've got the Speed of Light Oracle cards and the Animal Kingdom. You can learn more about these on my website. You can work with the decks separately, or you can combine them and have lots of extra fun like I like to do. I've also got my card reading club. I've got a card reading club that happens online on Zoom every month. That's happening next week. So next Thursday, whatever date it is, next Thursday, and we are focusing on fortifying ourselves. That's our theme. So that's on next week if you want to join me. And it's also my online art class next week on the Friday. That's Australian time, by the way. And we are going to be winding up the chakra series. So we're looking at the crown chakra next week. So if you'd like to learn more about either of those, or if you'd like to see more about what I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au and you can see lots of stuff that I've been doing for almost 20 years, which is amazing. So let's see which card we need for the theme. The theme will probably be, well, the theme card's always important, but it may be extra important for this particular reading because there is this stepping out of the stress and the surface tension and stepping back. So stepping deeper, but also the bigger picture card should help us see the bigger picture of these 4 days and help give us a broader stance or a broader look in on what's potentially going on. So the best card for our theme for the majority of us from the 3rd till the 6th of October 2024 is this Speed of Light Oracle card. Well, this is interesting. This is the Sad Stag. And not too surprising, actually. It's card 49. And it says, lost, help, guide, path, discouraged. Okay, so let's unpack this card. This is showing that we're off we might think that we're off track. This is a very mental card. So it's showing that we might feel discouraged and like we're off our path. We might think that our path is way over there and we've taken a wrong turn, or we're going backwards, or we're going off the edge of a cliff, or we're nowhere near our path. Where is our path is what this card is showing us. But you know, the truth is that our path can only ever be in one place, and that's right under our feet, because it's our path. Where else would our path be except for right under where our feet are? It doesn't matter how off track we think we are or how fast we run. We could even walk on our hands and our path would still be under our feet. So the truth is our path is always under our feet. And when we sort of see it like that, it's like, oh yeah, obviously, I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, it feels true when we hear it, and I'm sure you probably feel the same. So why is it that we feel that we're off our path? And I really feel it's because we think we're off our path. Our body is on our path. Our feet are on our path. And sometimes our mind kind of disconnects from our body or disassociates from our body. And our mind can be off on some tangent over there somewhere else. Could be lost in the bushes, or lost in the forest, or lost in the wilderness somewhere. So it's our mind that makes us think that we're off track. So if we can get our mind back in alignment with our body, which is back in alignment with our path, then that will help us realize the truth that we are on track. Now, if something in our life isn't working, if we're being treated like a doormat, or we're not going down a good path right now, or we're struggling with something, then some changes may need to be made. If we don't like the path that we're on, or it's just not right for us. And sometimes we disconnect from our path because it's not right, and we're trying to avoid the truth of, well, the fact that we may need to make changes. So that's a whole nother topic. But our mind makes us think we're off track, so we need to get our mind in alignment with our body. Is part of our guidance for the bigger picture these next few days. So let's get our mind in connection. Let's drop deeper into our body and get out of that surface tension, which we can now look at too as the mind disconnecting from the body. So we are on track. We are where we need to be, and we have the power to make changes if changes need to be made now. If there's something in our life that's not working, let's look at it. Let's stop avoiding and distracting ourselves and disconnecting from things, and look seriously at what's going on in our life. So we may feel discouraged, we may feel lost, we may feel off path, we may be in our head a lot, we may be stressed out and tense, but it doesn't have to be that way. So let's take the steps straight away to get back in alignment with our body. How do we do that? Take some deep breaths. I already recommended it. Spend 5 minutes, or as you're driving somewhere alone, turn the music off. Turn the clutter of the news and the radio off, and just take 5 minutes of breathing and look around. Put the phone down and reconnect with your body, reconnect with your breath, reconnect to nature. Feel your feet walking wherever it is that you're walking, and imagine that is your path, and that you are on your path. You are stable and secure on your path. And if something in your life's not working, what can you do to change it? Look deeper at the situation so that you can be clearer about what steps you need to take if you're at that point. So let's get out of our lower mind and into our body is our theme, and back on track. So I trust this resonates with you. Thanks so much for connecting today. Have a great couple of days and a great weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. Take care. Bye for now.